Real talk. The scariest thing in web scraping isn't getting blocked. It's when your scraper runs perfectly, the file saves, everything looks green, and the data inside is completely wrong. No error, no crash, just a spreadsheet quietly full of garbage. Honestly, that's more dangerous than a block, because at least a block tells you something broke. Today I'll show you, step by step, how to set up scraping the clean way, so your data is real and you don't get blocked halfway through. Stick with me till the end. I'll show you a clean scraping setup for these best practices, how to keep your IP and fingerprint clean so you don't get blocked, and how to grab 2 GB of free proxies so you can start extracting with way less risk. Quick basics first so nobody's lost. Scraping, basically automated data collection, is just a tool grabbing public info off a website for you instead of you copy-pasting by hand. And a quick word on staying clean. We only ever touch publicly accessible data, the stuff anyone can see without logging in. Glance at the site's robots.txt, basically a website's rules for bots file, and its terms of service before you start. Don't collect personal data without a real legal reason, and be polite with your request speed so you're not hammering someone's server. Pros mention that in passing because pros just know. So here's the thing most beginners get wrong. They think scraping fails because of bad code. Real talk? In 2026, it's almost never the code. It's the setup around it. Modern websites run anti-bot systems, basically digital bouncers that decide if you look human. And here's the kicker. They judge you in the first few milliseconds, before the page even loads. Quick checkpoint. Scraping is automated public data collection, and you get blocked based on how you look, not what your code says. So what do these bouncers actually look at? 3 things. Your IP address. Think of it as your home address on the internet, the number saying where your connection comes from. Your fingerprint. Your browser's ID card, a bundle of details like screen size, fonts, and graphic signature that identifies your device. And your timing, how fast and how robotically you click around. If any of those scream robot, you're blocked before you see a single line of data. Here's how we fix all 3 at once, with an anti-detect browser. In plain words, it's a browser that masks that ID card, runs separate isolated profiles side by side, and plugs a different proxy into each one. A proxy, by the way, is like borrowing someone else's internet connection so the site sees their address instead of yours. The reason this matters for scraping: anti-bot systems check the exact same signals an anti-detect browser cleans up, so a consistent, human-looking identity means there's nothing obvious to flag. You can use any anti-detect browser you want. I'll show you GoLogin because it's the most beginner-friendly I've used. Let me walk you through it. Step 1. Know what you want and check for an API first. An API, basically an official data doorway a site offers, is the easy path. If it exists, use it and skip the scraping entirely. No API? Then we scrape, cleanly. Step 2. Pick the right proxy. This is the single highest leverage choice you'll make. A data center proxy is a cheap IP from a server farm. Fast, but anti-bot systems distrust it instantly. So on protected sites, it gives you a flat 0% success. A residential proxy is an IP from a real home connection, so it looks like an ordinary person. The reason this works: the target reads the class of your IP, and a residential one looks human, so there's nothing to flag. The honest trade-off: residential is slower and pricier than data center, but that's the price of actually getting through. And match the IP's country to the site's audience, or a US store seeing a German IP is an instant anomaly. Quick real example: an e-commerce researcher tracking competitor prices ran everything on cheap data center IPs. The scraper worked, but every page came back as a Cloudflare block that his parser neatly saved as empty rows. Weeks of clean-looking, useless data. A residential IP matched to the right country would have returned real prices from day 1. Step 3. GoLogin. Open GoLogin. In the top right, click the Add Profile button. A setup panel opens, and GoLogin instantly generates a fingerprint for you. Give the profile a clear name like Scraper1. Now scroll to the Proxy section and paste in your residential proxy details, the host, port, username, and password your proxy provider gave you. Right next to it, there's a Check Proxy button. Click it and wait for the green confirmation showing the location. Here's the part beginners stress about for no reason. You don't touch the time zone or language settings. GoLogin reads the proxy and matches all of that automatically, which keeps your identity consistent. Then hit Create Profile and click the Run button next to its name. A fresh browser window opens. That's your clean scraping environment. Quick checkpoint. You've got an isolated profile with a clean residential IP, and you haven't touched the target yet, because we verify first. Step 4. Verify on IPhey before you scrape anything. In that new window, go to IPhey.com. You're looking for one thing: a big green "You're trustworthy" result. It checks your IP class, whether your address reads residential or flagged. Your fingerprint consistency, whether all the ID card details agree. WebRTC, a sneaky browser feature that can leak your real IP even behind a proxy. Green means no leak. And time zone and language matching your IP's location. Why care? Because anti-bot systems read these exact signals. If IPhey catches a mismatch, so will your target. Green here is your green light. Step 5. Test small, then pace it like a human. Scrape one page first and actually look at it. Did you get real data or a CAPTCHA page in disguise? A CAPTCHA is that prove you're human puzzle. If it shows up mid-scrape, that's the site challenging you. Then pace your requests. Use randomized delays, not a robotic fixed interval, because timing that's too regular is itself a giveaway. One more key idea: sticky versus rotating. If you're grabbing independent pages like product listings, let the IP rotate. But if you're going through a login or page-by-page sequence, keep the same IP for the whole session. Switching mid-flow looks like two people sharing one account and gets you blocked silently. And always check the content, not just that the file saved. Quick real example. An SEO specialist scraping search results rotated IPs in the middle of a page sequence. No error ever showed. The scraper just quietly collected homepage redirects instead of rankings. A sticky session for that flow would have kept the data real. Let's bust 3 myths fast. Myth 1. Free proxies are fine. Reality. Free proxies are shared, already flagged, and unstable. They hand you blocks and half-loaded pages, which is bad data, not just slow data. Myth 2. An anti-detect browser hides everything, so behavior doesn't matter. Reality. A perfect fingerprint still gets caught if you scrape like a robot. Pacing matters as much as identity. Myth 3. A successful run means good data. Reality. A run succeeding only means it ran. A parser will happily turn a block page into clean-looking, totally wrong rows. Now, what changes if you're doing a one-time research scrape instead of an ongoing daily job? For one time, a single clean profile and a manual eyeball check is plenty. For a daily job, you'll want rotation, scheduled runs, and automatic content checks comparing today's data to yesterday's, so silent drift gets caught fast. And what changes if your target is a heavy JavaScript site instead of a simple HTML page? JS rendering just means the page builds itself with code after loading, so the raw HTML is nearly empty. For those, you need a real browser like the anti-detect one we set up, not a bare request, because only a real browser actually runs that code and reveals the data. A few quick if-then rules. If you start seeing 429 responses, that's the server's too many requests, slow down code. Cut your speed, add randomized delays, and back off before retrying. If you hit a CAPTCHA wall, slow down and switch to a cleaner residential or mobile IP. And if your pages come back empty or ghost-like, suspiciously blank or the same result repeating, suspect a soft block, change your IP class, and slow your pace. Don't just keep hammering. So let's recap. In 2026, getting blocked is almost never a code problem. It's infrastructure. You win by checking for an API first, picking a residential proxy matched to the target, building a clean GoLogin profile, verifying green on IPhey before you touch the site, pacing like a human, matching sticky or rotating to the task, and checking the actual content before you trust a single row. Do that, and your data actually means something. If you want to replicate this exact scraping setup, get 40% off and claim the 2 GB free proxies. Click my link in the description or the pinned comment. Go build it right the first time. Catch you in the next one.